You are watching the Dangerous News Network, news, sports, and politics, where the content is unscripted, uncut, uncensored, unbelievable, and unlike anything you've seen on the news or on YouTube. And tonight's topic is going to be about the Detroit Pistons against the Chicago Bulls, game of the regular season in the 2013-2014 NBA season. Well, as predicted, the Detroit Pistons lost to the Chicago Bulls. They blew an 18-point lead over the Chicago Bulls, as predicted. But here's my analysis about the game. The game wasn't all that close. The Detroit Pistons only got the lead because the Chicago Bulls didn't think that the Detroit Pistons was worth fighting in the first quarter. They're not that good. They're not that good at all. The Detroit Pistons aren't a very talented team. They didn't defend Andre Drummond. They didn't have to defend Andre Drummond. They beat the Detroit Pistons in every other way. Taj Gibson, he matched Andre Drummond, and he's a backup. He's a good backup on a contending team, and he's a great sixth man. Albeit a great sixth man, he's a good backup on a contender. But I hope that Joe Dumars, I hope that we replace Joe Dumars with a competent general manager, and that competent general manager get a Shabazz Napier, either by trading down or trading up from their second round. Shabazz Napier, he could be our leader. He led UConn to the NCAA championships. Yes, Shabazz Napier. People are underrating Shabazz Napier. I would draft him. I would do everything I can to trade down. We could get the Kings ransom if we traded down from the number 8 pick, assuming we stay at number 8. But I would also trade up from number 38. I don't know what we have, though. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I would trade him. He's not irreplaceable. If we can trade Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and if we can trade the number 38 draft pick to trade up to the late first round and get Shabazz Napier, I'm all for it. I am all for it. We can replace Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with Gary Neal and get a better result. That's the fact. Nobody should be untouchable from that roster. Nobody. This team isn't a winner with Josh Smith on the team. And with Josh Smith injured, they really look sad. And as you see, Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond, yes, they stuff stats, but they don't win games. None of them. I would trade them both. I would trade both Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond. Greg Monroe, he stuffs stats, but he doesn't win games. He looks good in the stat book, but he doesn't win games. He doesn't play great defense. None of that. Andre Drummond, he has no fundamentals. And all he has on offense is the putback dunks. Without those putback dunks, Andre Drummond is not that good, to be honest. As for Brandon Jennings, I would trade him too. Fact is, we need a better point guard. on offense. Well, we need a more efficient point guard starting. That's a fact. We need a shooting guard worse than we need a point guard, though. So if we can't get better than Brandon Jennings by trade, I would keep Brandon Jennings and go with Shabazz Napier in the draft. We need a shooting guard worse than we need a point guard. Andre Drummond for Harrison Barnes and Klay Thompson, I would go for that all day long. Or Brandon Jennings and Andre Drummond and one of Jonas Jerebko and Will Bynum for Rajon Rondo, I would go for that too. Fact of the matter is, the Detroit Pistons, they need talent. We need a competent GM that is going to give us talent. We need a competent GM that's going to get us a leader. And what's better than Rajon Rondo at point guard? And Shabazz Napier can learn from Rajon Rondo. I really believe in Shabazz Napier's potential as an NBA player. Even if he's not the most athletic point guard. You don't have to be the most athletic point guard. You have to have a high basketball IQ. And that is Shabazz Napier. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the three a lot better than most point guards. He can shoot the three just as well as Damian Lillard. I think that he could be the leader for the Detroit Pistons. Rajon Rondo for Brandon Jennings, and Andre Drummond. I will do that trade. We can get a couple first rounders. They can protect their first rounders if they want to, but I would do that. I will make the trade. I'll accept that trade. Then for small forward, go after Michael Beasley. At shooting guard, Gary Harris. Power forward, Josh Smith at power forward, Greg Monroe at center. Even though Greg Monroe is not a winner, Greg Monroe, yeah, he's got enough skill. He's got skill. He's not a winner, but he's got skill. And if you have talent, maybe the Detroit Pistons can win with Greg Monroe as your main center. But here's the ideal. We can trade Greg Monroe later and get more assets for Greg Monroe. Those are our two trade chips, Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe. Josh Smith, I think he would do okay at power forward. He's a number 4 option on a contending team. But he did win as a number 2 option. So that's a fact. But Pistons fans disagree with me. But I say that I know what I'm talking about here. But that's all I got to say about this situation for the Detroit Pistons. And this is Daniel McFarland. And, well, I'm going to talk more about the changes that the Detroit Pistons need for the summer season, for the summer off season for the Detroit Pistons. And this is Daniel McFarland. Hit me up and subscribe of the Dangerous News Network, and I approve this message.